Hello, everyone. This is a Thursday night chat with Al and Uncle Ron.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. And we're going to do a little sports sim chatting about projects we have enjoyed. And maybe some projects we have. I've enjoyed all my projects, but there are some I think we've enjoyed. I know I've enjoyed more than others.
You pick good projects for yourself, though, normally.
I do. The problem is I pick a lot of projects because I'm a squirrel, as we'd like to do. No, I just get things in my head, and I want to. OG's in the chat. And
how you doing, OG?
CP Cards and Dice. That's Combat Painter. He's got a lot of good stuff I got to catch up on. I'm still watching his 88. I love the concept where he played. Again, we've all done this. I've done it with the 78 Red Sox, with the strategy baseball, which was the pure. You talked a little bit about it's like the pure sister. Yeah, it's fun.
Sister.
And so we, I play that game. I beat the Yankees. Then I beat Kansas City. We had an adventure in the Kansas City game when the game sort of foobarred, but I never did play the World Series. But that's fun. And what he did, talking about projects, and again, this is CP Cards and Dice Combat Painter. What he did was take the 88 Mets, and now you remember it was the Red Sox, A's.
Yes.
Mets, Dodgers. And as a kid, what was I thinking? Revenge. Even though I knew we weren't going to beat the A's. I go, my God, imagine if we get by the A's and we play the Mets and we get a crack at them again. But what he did was, because he's a Mets fan, he replayed that series. I'm not going to give it away. Go check that. And then just go check that out on CP Cards and Dice if you're a Mets fan or just a baseball fan or just a
true blue Mets fan for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And the original Grognard, he had some really fun projects with his military strategy. We should have got him on. I didn't think of it, but maybe we could still get him on a little later if he wants. But we're just on here with Uncle Ron we're going to talk about some of the projects we liked, and we'd like to share some of what projects you like. I just mentioned, like I said, CP Cards and Dice. He's done many projects as Mets replays. But I'm enjoying. And I don't want to give it away because I want people to see. I'm enjoying his 88 Mets playoff rerun. Like, can he change history? We've all done that.
Right. And, that year, the Mets and Dodgers played 12 times and the Mets won 11 in the regular season.
Yeah. And then that was – and didn't get by him in the
nope.
In real life, didn't get him – no. Earl Hershiser had a monster year that year. He had the shutout. Remember, he broke the shutout string.
He did. He for like 57 innings or something like that.
Yeah, that's So Uncle Ron, I want to say hello again to CP Cards and Dice. That's Combat Painter, the OG, the original Grognard, Thrice Cerrone, your card collecting treat. Check out those wonderful channels, as well as Max Cornelius and John St. Baptiste was in here early. I'm going to be doing something with John St. Baptiste one of these Thursdays, talking. If you want to come on, you can. Talking movies and music.
Oh, yeah, I'm expert in both of those. I'll watch.
Yeah, but you ask good questions. You ask good questions, Uncle Ron.
Okay.
This is why no one wants to come on with me on Saturdays. I'm like, hey, want to come on the show during the week? And they're like, no. Anyway. But
we lock up GGO and the monkey.
That's a different show. That's a different show. We're going to add to that, too. We got some funny stuff coming up there. We're always funny on that show.
But did you see the sales email tonight from Dave Koch or Cook?
No.
For basketball?
No. What does he have?
Oh, there's a new wrinkle in 2019 basketball. For the first time, you can generate fictional teams.
Can we use real players?
I'm not sure how far it's going, but that's much more in the direction of OOTP than I'm surprised that you've.
But that's kind of. I'll check. I got to check. I saw that if you're interested, Strat's having a 50% off sale for football, hockey, and college football and basketball. But that's for the 2018 stuff,
right?
So their new game must be coming out soon. They're trying to put. I always thought about getting the. And I'll ask you about. Did you ever play the hockey game?
I have played the hockey game.
Do you like the hockey game?
I do like the hockey game.
See, I might for 50% off. I might take a shot and buy one.
Yeah, because you can get the card image with that for $30 as opposed to.
It's still 50% off. So
Right.
yes, you're right because I put and I was thinking I didn't know if I want to get the thing is I don't like playing modern seasons and I don't want to
Yeah,
buy
and it comes with
yeah
it would be well, it would be
20.
the Caps Vegas Cup,
Oh, that's not bad though. That's not bad.
because you'll pay the full price for the Blues and Bruins.
Yes, yes. See, I'm gonna get sucked into buying some stuff. I have an issue. Uncle Ron and I we have some issues.
MGD.
And Phantom D saying how you doing, Arnold Hunter? How you doing? So yeah. So tell us again about the
It's in the sales sheet tonight that came out, along with some new things and the new scheduler and some of the things they've implemented in other games. But the line that caught, let me call it up for you.
Okay.
The line that caught my eye,
yes,
kind of floored me because he's never done anything like that before.
So does he mean like fictional? I mean, you could make your fictional players and stuff, but that's more difficult.
You've always been able to do that.
Yeah, but that's more difficult than just generating fictional players if you want.
Where
or
is
fictional leagues. Hello, Comics with Bueller. Gotta have Comics with Bueller back on. What a wonderful comic book channel. Absolutely marvelous person, along with Phantom D Saint, CP Cards and Dice. That's Combat Painter, Arnold Hunter, and the original Grognard, Max Cornelius. How are you doing?
Find it.
And Comics with. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Under miscellaneous editions, new tools for creating leagues, including computer-generated fictional teams and players.
Oh, I like that. I'm not a big, because I'm going to tell you why I like that. Action PC games are really fun. Last night I was going to stream. I didn't. I watched some streams, some old stuff. I listened to some new stuff. Oh, Uncle Ron, you had your show that that was a little earlier, but with just chatting.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Just
getting out there and chat. But what I ended up doing, I played. Plus, they changed my dad's medicine, so I had to stay up to make sure everything was a-okay. I played a football game action PC 2, to which the computer hosed me out in a second. And then I played hockey, which is and basketball, 2 basketball games.
Wow.
Yeah, I played the USSR against the Italian national team from 1972. I got hosed. I was winning. I got hosed. You want to talk about bullshit calls at the end? I felt like I was the United States in the gold medal game. I was playing as Italy, which they had one good player, and then you kind of got. He's like a center. I want to see. It's Dominic Meningine. I never pronounce it. I got to look it up. It's Meningine, but I think they say Meningine. But he's a good inside player. You got to basically feed him the ball all day. He can score against anybody. The problem is he's the one good player they have. But that was fun. I played a little Chris Mullin at St. John's with what was the year? The 3 biggie 84, 85?
84, 85. So you're Villanova one, yeah.
Ernie D. Gregorio from the Providence. That was in the 70s. They went to the Final Four. But anyway, so this is really exciting. Action PC games are a lot of fun. I have to thank Uncle Ron. When I met Uncle Ron, he was playing Action PC baseball, and it's a really fun game. So go ahead, Ron. Tell us about the thing they're going to do.
About that. So apparently you can now have them in the new version generate fictional teams and players. And I assume, like with anything else, you can just take them from your fictional league and import it into a stock league. So you can run your fictional team in with real players.
Because you can do that already. It's cumbersome to make a team
and create everything. But
yeah, it's really cumbersome to create. It's fun once you get the hang of it. I've made Michigan alumni team, but those were professionals. That's professionals. That's why some people are like, why isn't that guy in the team? Well, I'm going after the
football. Yeah, you did
the best professionals. Now I actually picked up, because I have a problem. They have like college all-star, historical all-star, college, the best college players from that college team. Oh my God, yeah. Ron, it's insane. I got to show you it. So you can't play a normal offense because the defense is so good, right?
Right.
I had Syracuse. Well, at least I couldn't move the ball. So Syracuse this is insane, Ron. And we'll get to the projects. It's pretty popped in my head. Yeah. Syracuse has Jim Brown, Larry Zonka, Larry Little, Joe Morris, Floyd Little, and I'm forgetting 2 other guys, right? So now I can't.
How the hell do you get the carries away for that?
played a single wing. That's the only way I could move the ball against. And I was playing offenses for both teams. Who was I playing? But it's fun. You can't. And you get so many good players. You just rotate them in and out. I picked it up on the last sale. I mean, I think it was like $10. Like, oh, I'm getting this. Like, I'm getting. It dropped from like. I want to say it was like $30 or something. It was like $10. I'm getting it. It was a lot of fun. So I already got my money out of it playing offline. But
that's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, we have baseball demos. He does a lot of cool projects.
Yes, he does.
And I actually going to come up. I have to talk with him because he did that fan one, the FOC project, which everyone enjoyed. Yep. And I think I can do something similar with Digital Diamond Baseball because it's very easy to quickly switch names and stuff. And I got to go back and see all the player, like who was on what team. I wrote some down, but I think I'm missing some. So I'm going to go back through, or maybe you can email him the list, but I'll go back through. But so Uncle Ron, I'll just start off with you. What is one of your favorite projects? Was it the football one that you just completed? Because you talk about
obviously the 78 football and
so much fun.
It was, and the 20 and the Patriot Challenge was cool too, because that was the first kind of getting into your territory of what ifs and matching teams from different eras. And the Patriots kind of overperformed. Yeah. I thought they would finish 4-4, and they beat the 85 Bears.
Yeah. The reason why, again, it's only a sports sim game.
Right.
Oh, as comments from people, because I had asked him, he said, I had a great time at Comic-Con last week, much better than the one before. Yeah, he was live. He was on we got to get him on.
I saw him.
I just missed the live. I got to go back and watch it. He was on a panel. Which is really cool at Comic-Con. So hats off to you, Bueller. Check him out. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Even if you don't think you like comics, it doesn't matter. His channel's awesome. Great guy. Along with Sam's Tangled Web and other people. Just fun people. So that was, why I thought they were going to handle the Bears? Not handle, but be competitive. Miami beat them on that Monday night, the Bears of 85. Right. And that's why, in a weird way, if Miami had went to the Super Bowl, obviously it would have been a much better Super Bowl. Just because Marino, he had their number. He had the Bear, and Shula knew how to beat that team. Which is strange to me, but I think he knew how to beat that team. Yeah, that was great.
That was fun, and the 78 project was fun too, because you got a mismatch going into the playoffs. I mean, Kansas City was a 4-win team.
Remember when we were talking about that though? When you're like, how are they winning? And then I looked up the stats. I go, well, Ron, they lost a lot of close games.
Yeah, and you can turn a 4-12 team into a 10-6 team.
Right, because they were actually a competitive losing team. It was interesting when I looked up those numbers because you had said something, and for some reason, I don't know if I watched them a lot, and you know what I mean? Like something clicked. I go, I remember even as a little kid, I remember they played, and plus I used to always play that card thing that we shall not discuss as a child. Yeah, because I enjoyed it. And I remember that just for some reason that they played a lot of tough games, and we looked it up, and they did.
So those were fun, and those were all. I mean, the playlists are out there for both of them.
Yeah,
they completed them, and it's always fun when you complete a project.
Yes, it is. Well, one of my favorite projects, and we're going to go to the chat. And so please, if I missed your favorite project, put it back in because we're going to go to the chat after I discuss one. Then we'll go to the chat and we'll come back to Ron and we're just going to discuss. It's about, and it doesn't, we're mostly sports sims, but I mean, if it's a project, like we have Fandom D Saint, he does entertainment stuff. He does basically weekly, daily projects when he's covering a show and he does a marvelous job. So I'm going to ask him a few things too in the chat about what's one of his favorite shows that he's covered. And I know it's besides Game of Thrones. I know it's Game of Thrones, but I'll have to tell you, I'm having fun with my 1977 Red Sox Mets replay. I played a little bit offline. I'm going to be bringing some of that back to the channel. That's fine. But I have to say, I truly enjoyed my Ted Williams Swan Song season using Out of the Ballpark. I think I finished it with 19. I think I actually did finish the whole thing with 19. But, and again, that was a little open world. I did that slightly open world. where so you had some guy, when you do open world, teams will make trades. I brought up, my whole thing was I wanted Yastrzemski to play with Ted Williams. And then I got Billy Williams. And it was fun. I really enjoyed that. And that was, I think what's so much fun about that one, I get to call the names. I've always said it. I think you get to call the names of these great players. And I got Billy Williams on my team on top of it. The pitching sucked, but it was fun. I think that was one of my favorite projects, along with my first true one that I played mostly offline, but I did put a lot of it online, was a 66 Red Sox season, which
That's
I played.
a rough one too.
I played as play transactions because I changed my lineups because I wanted to try, and I finished 500. And again, it's
wow, that's a team that lost close to 100 games.
Yeah, but it's the thing when you're playing a replay, if you're not playing as played lineups, you can play the math. You can play what you know. So you start playing matchups. And the thing that stinks when you're playing that way with as played transactions, at least for me, I start to learn to play a certain way with certain players, and I know they're getting traded. And then you have to try to figure out how to play a different way. But that was a lot of fun too. And Tony Conigliaro overperformed, and Yastrzemski really underperformed. And then you had some other fringe players that overperformed because, again, I'm looking at matchups. Just like with the Mets 77 season I'm doing, I'm at 500. I slumped really bad.
Yeah, but that wasn't even close to a 500 team.
But I want to make sure I get the game that you were at Shea Stadium.
August 9th.
August 9th. I'm not there yet, but August 9th will be on the channel.
Me, the chicken pox, and 13,000 people.
August 9th, Mets.
About 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks after the big blackout. I mean, it was a great time to be in New York City. Thank God I was 5. I didn't know any better. But
yeah, Son of Sam.
Son of Sam, yes. Yep. Bronx is burning.
Ron. Okay, I wrote that down. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what happened there is if you've watched, I knew Seaver, obviously we know Seaver's gonna get traded, right? I pitched his arm till it fell off. I pitched him a relief. I didn't care. But you learn to play a certain way. It was actually strange. Once I lost Seaver, Zachary's not Seaver. He's okay. He's not Seaver. Yeah. And what a horrible trade. I mean, that's a different subject, but that was a bad trade. I don't care. I never understand, Ron, when teams trade pitching and then they try to go get pitching. The Red Sox are notorious for you had your pitcher, you traded your pitcher, or you let him go.
Lester?
Exactly. Don't get me started, Uncle Ron. But yeah, that was a really fun project. So I enjoyed that one. I think the Ted Williams thing was just again to say the name Ted Williams and to call it. Just like it's about Phantom D Saint says Supernatural. So those are a couple of my Ted Williams overperformed because I played him more.
Even better.
Yeah, right. So he did tremendous. I just played him more. And towards the end, he slumped a little bit. But you know what's funny in any game with out of the ballpark?
Right.
If you start to play them too much, if you're playing open world, they'll get an injury. Like he went on the DL twice because I started. So they bring it back. That's what they bring it back to. Hey, you're using them a little too much. You'll get that. They'll rein it in a bit. You still get some nice stats. And I tried him out at first base. That was fun. That was a mistake.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, bad. Well, because I want to put a better outfielder. So I said, I'll put him at first. How bad can he be? It worked the first game. I was like, I'm brilliant. Second game, the 3 errors at first did cost me. The 3 errors at first. But
yeah, he was never a good defender.
He had some good defensive years where he would make the plays, I would assume. Again, he had Dominic DiMaggio. He tells that funny joke. He goes, I don't have to worry. Anything hit to the left, to the right of me, Dommy was going to catch.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, Dominic DiMaggio was a great center fielder, and he says he's going to catch it, so I don't care. Yeah, that's a really fun project. The other one, they're not really projects, but anytime I do anything Sandy Koufax, I love. That's one of my favorite pitchers to do, Sandy Koufax.
Ever done a Pedro one? Like a 99 or 2000?
I picked up because I think I like doing pitcher type replays with Strat. I don't know why I like pitcher
Short.
type.
25, 30, 35 games.
Yeah, I like doing those with Strat and probably out of the ballpark. I want to do a Fidrich one. I kind of started doing one with Pure Sims. I actually did, and it was fun. And then the game crashed and I lost it. That's annoying. I'll tell you the disappointment. I'm going to go to the chat in a second, and then we'll go back to Uncle Ron. I was doing a Jim Plunkett. His 1972. He had a very good year with the Patriots. Okay, no, sorry, 74. 74. He had a good year with the Patriots. They actually
fourth or fifth year with the team, right?
And they were like 6-1. They started basically because of Jim Plunkett, and they could run the ball a bit. And then the game crashed. You know what I mean? Like the file crashed. And I couldn't recover. I could recover fix it so I could get it right, but everything was gone. I thought about doing it again, but
you'd never repeat that.
You can't repeat the way I was 5-1, basically on track with what they were doing.
That's always fun when you have a game, and someone says, "Oh yeah, this really happened." Think the first week of the 78 replay I did was Baltimore Dallas.
Oh, I knew that.
It was like 41-10 or whatever. I mean, Dallas just kicked. That was like, the final score was like 38-3. You realize that?
What's funny is I was screwing around as you were playing yours. I was playing simultaneously some of those games on 2nd and 10. Another wonderful game.
That's a great game.
And I actually, because I knew you were doing it, I had played that game first. I went, and I was excited as you were, but you would sit, because when I said, "Oh, cool, Burt Jones," right? And then I remembered, I started playing, "Oh, crap, he was hurt that year."
Oh,
and you had,
was he ever?
Was it Tupa? Not Tupa. What the hell is that guy's name?
Yeah.
Starts with a T,
Johnny King quarterback, yeah.
Yes. And it was funny because when you start off when you start off your broadcast, you go, if you're thinking I'm paraphrasing, it's sort of like, if you were thinking to see Burt Jones match up here, you're not. Because I thought the same thing. I went, me too, Ron, when I was playing it.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Amish Elvish is in the chat. Hello. So baseball demos, one of his favorite projects was doing the Terry Felton's 1980. Oh, that was awesome. Trying to get him a win. Yeah, he did a thing with Terry Felton, 1982 Strat, trying to get him a win. He was 0-13 in 1982. I don't think he ever did get him that win, but he had a couple of shots at it. That was fun. That was really an out of the box type of replay.
Yeah, no one would ever. The Twins team is terrible.
Yeah. And that was a fun, different type of replay. That's a good one. And
that really is out of the box. I'm going to look because I've got 82 kind of open now. Yeah. Minnesota, right?
Yes, Minnesota.
All right. Keep talking.
Okay, just interrupt me when you get what you want. So Phantom D saying I'd asked him what's one of his favorite shows to cover besides Game of Thrones, and he says Supernatural. Does a marvelous job with that. Larry Harris is here. Hello, Larry. Hope all is well. But yeah, that was a fun project, Dave. That's baseball demos. I assume everyone in our chat has subscribed to baseball.
All right.
Demos. Go ahead.
You ready for this, demos? In the 82 replay, Terry Felton's ERA is 3.70. He started 5 games. He pitched in 26. He threw 75 in the 3rd innings, a whip of 1.487, and went 3-1.
Wow! Wow! So Uncle Ron, Terry Felton loves you.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Can I share? Chat.
Rob Explanation showing in the chat. Check out his channel. He says, I have a friend replaying Louisiana Lightning's 25-3. Oh, that's a great, again, not a Yankee fan, obviously. But the Gator Ron Guidry in 78 was nasty. And from 77 to 81, very good pitcher.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to share the screen.
Okay.
There you go. You can see it right there. He's not available, so he must not have been in the 40 that late in the season. The team is god-awful, but those are the stats. He went 5 games. Let's see, ERA of a whip was close, Al. 1.487 to 1.491. The average is right there. The ERA is a full run and a quarter lower. And who did he beat? If I can get this up here, it's just like one of my regular games. He beat the Yankees on May 29th, 5 1/3. Went four hits and a run. He beat Boston in kind of an excuse me relief appearance, and he beat the Angels on April 17th. He went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 3 and struck out 4. That is, I guess he's got one more start. That is wild.
That is wild, Uncle Ron. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool to compare that with when Baseball Demos, Dave from Baseball Demos did the replay, which was a lot of fun. OTDA, all hail the Empires in the chat. As he says, the NBA draft is tonight, chilling, but wanted to come by and hit that like button and listen a bit. I greatly appreciate that, my friend. Rob Explanation Point again in the chat. Roger Ward. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As Dave from Baseball Demo says, I prefer playing bad teams. Great point. I was talking to that with Uncle Ron offline. I find that if I play bad teams, I have to be interested in that bad team. Something has to interest me in it, right?
That OJ against the playoff teams.
Again, I've always been an OJ fan as a football player. And because you have to preference that,
yes, you do.
Or you get the, anyway. So get the cuckoos. Jake Cruz, how you doing? Yeah, that's a fun. You know what? That's another fun project. I've fallen away from it, gone back to it. I have only 3 more games to do to complete. Hello, Randy. 62 Mets. I'm actually playing the 62 Mets offline. They stink.
And so the chase to 41 is going to take you 300 games, right?
Yes. As Uncle Ron already knows what I call it offline. The chase for 41. I started off 3-0. Yeah.
What did so was their first 8?
Yeah. I was like, remember when I was posting the things in the Discord? I'm like, I'm going to win 105 games. I mean, I'm kidding around, but yeah, they're bad. That pitching is god awful. Richie, now again, that I'm playing, that's a fun project. Sebastian Strat, how you doing? And again, share the projects in the chat that you like, and we'll discuss. I'm going to go back to Uncle Ron. I'm talking a lot, but that I'll tell you, I'm playing Stratomatic. I'm playing the 62 Red Sox and the 62 Mets offline, and I'll share when I get like a month in. Maybe I'll do a stream with Uncle Ron. We can talk and make fun of how bad the bad teams are doing. But what's interesting about that is I said the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to play, obviously, as played people in the lineup, as played transactions, but anyone who's in that lineup, I can adjust where they bat. I can, because my God, they had Don Zimmer, who batted .212, batting third in some games. Are you out of your freaking mind, right? I get it, it's early, but you should. I looked up stats in the batting orders, like on Baseball Reference. You have to wonder sometimes about some. I know it was Casey Stengel, but Rod, how long in a season do you get a feel for a player? I mean, you covered baseball for real.
I would think that if you're hitting 212 after 100 at bats, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, so that's my point. Some of these old school managers, maybe they just didn't care anymore.
Well, Casey wasn't there to manage. He was there to.
He was there to draw people in, but
right.
I mean, they're putting a horrible lineup. So that's the rule I gave to myself. I can adjust the lineups with the Red Sox and with the.
Was it Pinky Higgins who was running the Sox in the early 60s?
I believe you're correct. Yeah, the former third baseman.
Right.
Who I think had some legal issues later.
Just a few.
Okay, that is the guy I don't want to talk about. Is that the guy I'm thinking of?
I think so.
Icky legal issues?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of. It's fun to do the replays, the teams you like, and sports demo. Hello, LMR, Living My Rhapsody. Check out that great channel. All things entertainment, especially Game of Thrones.
Never been sucked into bad teams just because for that reason. I mean, it's one of those things that you're going to get lit up, and there's nothing you can really do. And even, I mean, that's just. I get it. If it's your team, such as Combat Painter with 79 and such for the Mets and stuff like
Man,
that.
those are some bad Mets teams he's playing.
But if it's your team, that's a different story. And if we're from a certain age, then those are your players. And so who cares if they're bad? You get to spend time with the Ed Kranepool's and Lee Mazzelli's and the John Stearns. I get that, but to go back and just pick some horrible, who in their right mind is going to go back and replay last year's Baltimore Orioles season?
Not
or
me.
this year's Baltimore Orioles season.
I tried because I have the Strat cards because I bought the whole set because of the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
The PC with the cards. And actually, it was a fair deal. I bashed Strat a lot, but that was a fair deal for what you got. I actually tried to play the 62 Mets against it. I did. The Mets actually can hit a bit. They just can't. Baltimore looks really good against the 62 Mets. Captain Carl says the 69 Mets had Amos Otis batting fourth while AG was injured. Otis batted .151 for the season. Yeah, it's astonishing sometimes what they do.
Yeah, and Hodges was a good manager too.
Again, he might have had a feel thinking that, he tried something. Yeah, Hodges was a good manager.
Yeah.
Great ball player too.
Yes. Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Ron, do you prefer when you do your season replays? Do you like playing the different teams because it varies what you're doing? It's not the word I want to use.
Like the 82 replay?
Yes. Did you like that as opposed to just going in and playing?
I don't think I could just sit there and do that 2 or 3 times a week, just playing with one team.
Yeah. So
in fact, if I feature someone twice in 1 week, I feel kind of funky about it because the computer's handling mostly everything when I'm not showing them anyway. And so, it's a fine line between interfering with what the races are as opposed to putting on what I think is the best show. And so, hey, it's going to be, you're going to see a lot of Detroit, Baltimore, and Milwaukee coming down the stretch because they're a game and a half apart. But, I don't want to be the one that makes the wrong decision that costs the team a playoff bid.
Pitch out, like goal line.
I don't think I've made too many horrible mistakes. Yes. Yeah.
Pitch out. Listen, if anyone's watched my streams, I make a lot of bad decisions. I'm going for it on 4th and 8 in my own end of the field.
I will defend that decision. They were Kansas. This is, of course, in the 78 football replay, and it's Kansas City.
Dave Gardner will never let you live that down.
No, he won't.
Uncle Dave.
And so somehow the game is tied.
Yes.
With 8 seconds to go. I got time for one play. Kansas City somehow has held on with a backup quarterback who couldn't hit the broadside of Rosie O'Donnell's tush, okay?
No, that's a big tush.
And that's a big tush. There was no passing. And so if that game went to overtime, Denver was going to win. And if Kansas City won, I think they clinched at least a playoff. So it was a big late season game. Yeah. And so I'm going, I can run. I cannot throw, but I can run. What can I do that is going to possibly break for a touchdown? And the one that gave me a 0.4 chance was a pitch to the left. From the 3-yard line, and not thinking, I'm not going to get trapped in the end zone here. I'm going to
be honest with you. You shouldn't have got trapped. They blew through it. It happens.
And then Tom Jackson tackles him in the end zone for a walk-off safety.
That is one of the craziest endings ever. The walk-off safety. Yeah, the walk-off. I can't think of it.
I'm surprised neighbors weren't knocking on my door after
that. Was because that was one of the funniest calls. He went, you got to watch it. Go back and watch it, folks. Let me go to the chat real quick, Uncle Ron.
Yep.
Some good stuff in there. And ID Gesture, check out that great channel. Glad to see ID back doing some streaming. So, where was it? Baseball demos. That's Dave. He says, I did the 87 Braves because they were bad, but more for the TBS memories. Yeah, he did a great job with that.
Yeah.
And that's the one he did with History Maker Baseball. And the stats were because he wanted to also prove a point, or not prove a point, but show that, yes, even though you didn't, like, it has the names. And it was funny because I'd ask him all these stupid questions because I didn't understand it really. Because I didn't understand what a sad sack was. So I was like, is Dave Kingman an a-hole? That'd be kind of fun. But yeah, he did, and that came out pretty statistically very close. And if you want to,
I mentioned that. I think the Captain Carl tonight, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
commented on one of the games that I did, and that he did. That'll pop up in the chat. He did a full replay of a team, and it came out pretty close too using History Maker.
yeah, I mean, so people again as Dave from Baseball Demos always says, play the games you like. You know, I don't care for people. Okay, play whatever games you want. If you don't like a game I play and you have a fair point about not liking it, that's one thing. Or just enjoy the game. Don't worry what other people think about a game that you play. If you enjoy it, play it. Rob, explanation point, 2000 Tigers. Oh my God, yeah. I'm sorry, 2003 Tigers, 43 and 119. That's god awful.
Yeah, that's bad.
That is bad. Pittsburgh, 1890, 23 and oh my God, imagine playing for that team.
Go back in football. Go play some of those NFL teams during the war.
They're
the Steagles.
Yeah. Oh, when they combined the teams, they didn't have enough players.
Pittsburgh and Philadelphia
For that, what, 1-2 year span? 1 year span?
It probably felt like From Here to Eternity.
Yeah, which is a good movie, the original. Mississippi State 1, Louisville nothing. Top of the 4th, Roger Ward.
College World Series.
College World Series. ID Gesture, I tell you, let me just say hats off to ID Gesture again. He's been making some. I don't play Apple, but he redid the charts. He sent them to everybody again. And I don't play super advanced strat, but I checked the charts out. The chart he adjusted, and it looks really cool.
He did a great job. I wish I actually played that Cards and Dice, because that's something you could print out and put on the wall.
Yeah, because it's easy to, like, I like to play dice baseball. I usually play it offline because you got to flip through so many stupid charts. Now you can play with fast action cards too, I think, like payoff pitch, but I don't like fast action cards. But I was thinking, like, I'm going to get this tack up board, like the cork board, because then I could just look and go, oh, that's that. Because there's so many, even if you have it in order, you're flipping. But anyway, you welcome ID. Again, I'm going to, the super advanced, what he basically did,
I put him on to like 6 pages, which is great.
So, this is advanced, but yeah, the super advanced is all, I have it over there somewhere. But what he did was he basically put it so it's usable. He shrunk it down. He did the cut and paste thing, but you can see it. He did a wonderful job. Hats off to ID Gesture.
Also, we did the charts for payoff pitch.
Yes, which I did take a look at. And he's done 3 different charts now. You know what I want ID to do? I want him to get back to his hockey game because ID is so smart. I think if you can do it, ID, you can do your hockey game.
That, or you can do some Casey Kasem impressions because he knows all about the charts.
That's true. And now on your top 20, you can't give me that. You've heard that clip, man. You give me that, and then you tell me the guy's dog dies. Remember that famous clip where he's yelling at the producer and they're still recording? Yeah. And we have our good friend Chris from Stratomatic, Delaware. He did a channel update, so check that out. Dave Gardner, body painting extraordinaire in the chat, and he did some golf today, which was fun.
I'd never heard of Tommy Nakajima. I knew, but the other
I heard of him. The other guy didn't heard.
I had to look him up on Wikipedia. He was a Nebraska amateur champion back in the 70s, and actually, I think, finished like in the top 10 once in the U.S. Open.
Wow! Hey, he finished top 10 in the U.S. Open. The now you like hockey?
Yes.
Have you? Which we know you're a big hockey fan. But have you done any offline?
I actually replayed the entire 1975-76 Islander seasons, Brian Trottier's rookie year.
Oh, that's a good one. How'd that go?
They made the Cup Finals.
Great player, Brian Trottier.
Steamrolled by Montreal in 5 games. They took game 1 at the Forum, as a matter of fact. They got some luck. They had a great year. They finished well ahead of Philadelphia in the standings, and of course then you got a first round bye in the playoffs. And so I think Philly and Boston played in like the second round, and so you're knocking out one of those good teams.
Yeah.
I think they played Vancouver in 1 round, and like I said, they steamrolled until they got to Montreal, and then they took 1. They took game 1. They pulled an Iverson and took game 1 and lost in 5. That was fun.
That had to be a fun. Now, did you use Action PC Hockey?
Action PC Hockey. And the thing is that you get to know the teams you get to know a team that way, and so you get the sense of what line is going to do well and what line isn't going to do well. And Action PC is confident enough that it won't limit if players start to go over. I think Trottier had 95, 96 points for real in that regular season, and he had over 130.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, I don't want to, because if the player's a good player and you just played him a little more, you would think you would produce a little more. That's my point.
And it was so much fun to watch how all that was set up, and
now
back and forth with the goalies and stuff.
Because we actually do have a lot of hockey fans. ID Gesture, and now I forgot all the hockey fans. I know you're a hockey fan. Dave Gardner, obviously, is hockey.
Yeah.
But now I've only played. Okay, I played 2, Action PC, and I played the Out of the Ballpark,
Franchise Hockey Manager,
which is okay.
It's terrible compared to OOTP. Do you know what I think of OOTP?
Yeah.
OOTP, you can do anything. With the Franchise Hockey Manager, you were so.
Now, I think I told you this before, Uncle Rod. I actually sent them. They have a YouTube channel, and they did a video on. And, they did some nice little things. So I go, yeah, the game looks nice, but hey, could you do this? Could you put that same type of animation that you have in the baseball game to the hockey game a bit? You would have thought I called their mother a bad name. Oh, my Lord, the response I got.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Don't get me started on Franchise Hockey. 5 is better than 3. I made the mistake of buying 3, and I played it like 20 minutes too long. I couldn't get my money back on Steam.
Yeah. I hear you. I didn't fall for it. I fell for it the first 2 times when it went on sale. Not this. I don't even care if it's 10. I don't want it.
Inside the Crease, I think, is okay. I own it.
That's the Eric plays that. Eric.
Eric Higher Ground
Gaming. Yeah.
He's doing the Bobby Orr thing.
Yeah, I watched some of those. They're fun.
A Strat I like a great deal. It flows well. I mean, Chris did a great video of that and when to change the lines and all that. It's a good flow. And of course, Dave is featuring the Shootout, which is a great solitaire game.
Yeah.
And it gives you highlights, and you can finish it in about 15, 20 minutes.
It would be interesting if they try to expand. I watched the other one he got too. I don't know. It's because I watched more of the Shootout stuff he did. I like Shootout better than. Oh no, that's a football game. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He did 2 football. I knew it. The football game, and we'll get back to hockey. The first football game he did, which is like Shootout hockey.
Game-winning drive, yeah.
I actually like that one better than the second one. I don't know why. I just did.
Yeah, I think he did too. And
I think
it's so hard to play football on the tabletop as opposed to the PC.
I've tried different. Again, next week probably on Ron's channel, we're gonna do the modding thing. So we'll talk. He can talk about that. You'll talk about that towards the end of this. But I have the Fran Tarkenton football game, and I've tried all different ways to speed that game. And you can't. If you speed a game up too much, you're not getting the true stat. You're sitting there going, the guy threw for 120 yards. You're like, and he played great because you're speeding it up so much. So, but Moni G's in the chat. How you doing?
How you doing, Moni?
Yeah. So my question about the hockey, because Strat's having a sale, a great sale, to be honest with you. 50% off, because they're going to bring out their new game. So they kind of want to get their last hurrah on the other ones. 50% off. You can buy the hockey game, the football, hockey, football, college football, basketball. Baseball game is not 50% off. And I was looking at the hockey because I'm not buying the football game to get. If it was the Patriots season that they want, I would have bought it. But I was looking at the hockey, and I asked Ron offline, "Have you played it?" And he says, "Yes, he does." And I've only played I enjoy Action PC hockey, but Ron with the Strat and ID Gesture has played a lot, and he likes it, but he's disappointed with on the PC version. They don't update anything on their PC version. It's just the same kind of. They could. I guess, player. The football game has wonderful animation. Again, they should bring that a little bit of that to the baseball game. I would assume the other games I haven't really looked at. Do they have any type of animation with the PC game?
No. Action PC is a better game.
Okay.
But if you're looking for something that's a cards and dice experience on the computer,
can I roll my own dice, or is it like football where it's too confusing to roll your own dice? For me,
I don't remember if you can or not. It's been a long time since I played. I think it was like the 2013 version I bought.
Did you get the card images?
Of course, I got the card images.
Silly question.
Never buy a Strat product without the card images because there are so many better pure computer games out.
Yes, right. So can you roll the dice with the computer then, obviously?
The computer will roll the dice.
Can you understand? Like baseball is very easy to understand what's happening. Football.
Yeah, because you can open up the player's card in a notebook. And so let's say if you're Guy Lafleur, you want to penetrate on Bobby Orr, for instance, you can look to see whether that would be wise to do. So there's ratings, and you can see the ratings, and then you can.
Because with the football game, I bought the card images, but there's like a sliding scale on the bottom, like, and if you don't slide, I'm like, oh, this is this, and I'm like, why did that happen? And I'm like, realize I got to slide it over. And
I mean, the baseball's the best one for that.
That's why I think I went away with my O.J. Simpson Juices Loose League. I just took the cards down because I'm like, half the time I start calling the wrong thing. Oh, and I'm like, oh, wait a second, I thought it was this. So I just show the play card, and it's still a very enjoyable game. I enjoy it. I still like Action PC better, but I do enjoy it.
I will say this, Stratomatic, because there's no controls on dice about how successful you are, players can run really, really hot.
Yes, they can.
And so, especially if you pick like an 80 season when there was lots of scoring anyway. And assist. But anyway, it's an enjoyable game, and for $30 with a card image, that's a steal. But
so you would, if I said offline, so I'm sorry Ron's hearing this again, but the people. So if I had to get, including college football, which I'm not going to get, but just say college football, basketball, hockey. The hockey's the one that
I would think that the hockey. I've seen Dave Little play the basketball game online. He didn't have the card image. I played Strat basketball before.
I have the card and dice game. I didn't.
Right. I'm not sure that I would invest. I don't play enough basketball.
Yeah.
And now with Action PC coming out with their new version of basketball, that will be the next one I buy. Be tempted to do some Toronto and Golden State with Golden State healthy.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you were to do one, hockey would be the
hockey.
One.
I do. You know, it's funny. I don't watch a lot of hockey, but I do enjoy playing hockey games. I don't know why. It's like golf. I used to play golf. I don't play anymore, but I do. In the chat, Dave Gardner says, Ron, I went back to all dice on Shootout for a few days.
Oh, really? I'm surprised at that because he just had some of the fast action cards made, and they are drop dead gorgeous. They're the quality of a playing card.
Yeah.
But
I like dice rolling, though. That's just me. I've said it before.
Random.
Because he made a great point. Dave had a video on like 12 minutes. I don't remember, but I came home from work and I popped it on quick, and he was talking about games and how if you have the fast action cards. I'm sorry, Dave can probably tell what games were. I forgot. When you flip so many cards, it was a hockey game. The Seals, I remember now. The California Seals, they only have a scoring opportunity between this number and this number, very remote scoring opportunity. And he says when you flip the fast action cards, if you miss those scoring opportunities, there's no more.
As I was telling him, it's just like when we had that before we discovered 20-sided die and would play Strat. And if you're flipping the cards and you knew that 20 was gone,
you knew. Yep.
Oh,
I still have the old deck. I have the old. D. Scott Howard was funny. A few months ago, he goes, I finally got a 20-sided die. Stop using because you could count it. It's card counting,
blackjack.
Especially if you're playing against someone. You just sit there and you laugh and you go, that card's not in there anymore, right?
Right.
You can go sit your ass down. Your guy's out. So those, so my favorite project, Ted Williams, Out of the Ballpark, Swan Song Season Open World. And so, Ron, just to get back to you,
Yep.
so you do like playing, we get to play multiple teams in a project.
Is for a streaming thing, yes, I actually did a 78-second and 10 replay long before I thought of a channel and did it. And because the way they stagger it, you can play a 1 o'clock game and you can play a 4 o'clock game. So it's like television. You sit there and you play the best and flip back and forth between the games.
Wonderful. 2nd and 10, if you're buying a game and you want to get everything all at once, and the community with the mods or the add-ons, I don't know what the mods, I guess, and you literally just click a button and everything goes. And mostly with the newer teams, no. But with the older teams from the 90s back, all the photos, almost every photo, they have for every player they have a photo for, and they have all the cool fields, and it does it automatic. And
it's great.
It's text-based. It does have visual to it. I tell you, if I could say one thing to 2nd and 10, and I would pay a little more, I would pay more money, obviously. For it. Here's the thing. 2nd and 10, you buy it once, right? You think you got to buy the next NFL season? Nope.
No.
They give it to you for free. So God bless them.
Super Bowl with that.
Yep. And they're out before anybody else. Okay. Now, you have to buy the college seasons, but again, they sort of hose themselves by going, well, if you don't want to buy the college seasons, we're going to give you all, how many, let's see, during this time period, there were 4 million college football teams.
1,000 college teams.
We're going to give you all these football teams, and you can make up your own schedule or play a turn. They're such a wonderful company. You have a question, they email you back.
Yeah, Wayne is great. And Richard Hanna is a programmer. He's did a 2nd and 10. He did a replay for the computer for both basketball and baseball. He did the tennis one that you.
I love it. Time travel tennis.
And ASG golf, which I featured a couple times, and classic soccer.
I love classic. And now we're going to talk. I just want to say hello to Mackenzie Burns. Check out her wonderful channel. Again, entertainment such as Game of Thrones and much, much more. Mackenzie Burns, John St. Baptiste, Johnny B. Crazy, and I'm forgetting the lovely woman from England and Clarissa from Canada. So it's a lot of fun. Check them all out when they're all together. It's Bobby goes on there too, Bobby Cantillano, and that's my Twitter daughter. Somehow she's my daughter on Twitter.
She wasn't your daughter the last time we talked about that.
No, she is now.
It's like a soap opera.
It is a soap opera, but yeah, ASG Games, right? Is that what they're called?
Yes, George Gurney.
Thank you again, Uncle Ron. You introduced me to some really fun, if you can't set up, and I would have never played those games if I had to set all that stuff up. It would have drove me nuts. Maybe as a kid I would have, but not as an adult.
I've seen Rob does the app of golf, but who would you think that you sit there and, because they do a cards and dice version of that too. You sit there and get a golf course and put it into sheets that you can write on, and then a set of, that just sounds so cumbersome.
Yeah. I tell you, I do enjoy when I've always said this, if someone's doing something on YouTube and they're enjoying it, and I'm interested in the subject, it could be crocheting and something like that.
Absolutely.
If you're having fun, it does go off to the viewer. That's just me. I've watched people play stuff I never, or things, talk about shows I don't even like, but they're having fun. I'm enjoying it. I get to become part of it in the chat and stuff, or just watch and listen. But the ASG games, the tennis game is, I poop you not, people. It is one of the most addictive games, and it is freaking fun. I was talking with Ron. He's telling me about it. He goes, you know what, Al? Because I said, where'd you get that game? He goes, and here's the other thing. Again, ASG games.
I am not responsible for people's credit card bills, okay?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. The ASG games, and I love them, but I think they're going, if you don't want to buy our game, which you should, you can play this demo forever and ever and still have a ton of fun. They give you demos that, again, you can play pretty much the golf game. You can't play you play like 8, 9
holes at Sawgrass and 24 golf.
But you know what? You can play it over and over again with 8 different golfers. So, but what they do is they want you to like their game before you buy it.
So they want to make sure you can run it on your computer.
That's, yes, number one. You're right. But they want, I think they really want to make you, because 2nd and 10, a little different. They let you demo the game for 3 days.
3 days, but you can download, I believe you could download everything. And so you could start your season.
Oh, yeah. That's the cool thing. You can put your downloads right in so you can see all the beauty of the visual. And if I could tell them one thing, and they're a great company. Anytime I've only had to email them a few times with a few issues, they get right back to you within 24 hours and they explain everything.
Wayne's a good guy. He's a professor at the University of Arkansas.
Really? I didn't know.
Yes. And that APA stuff I sent you, or the APA, that was his too.
Really?
Yep.
Cool.
And so all those seasons.
So the one thing, if they could, and I would rebuy the game even if they bumped it up $20, $30.
Well, here was the thing.
Oh, go ahead.
If you bought the first version, you got up until version 10. You upgraded for pretty much for free. You weren't recharged. Yeah, we'll send you the disc. Or now that you download, 10, I think, is the first time in years that I actually had to buy something from them.
Yeah, and you shouldn't, and anyone shouldn't complain if you had it.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely.
If they could add, 2nd and 10, 5-yard run, they line up. Then after the 5-yard run, it moves. You just see the line of scrimmage move. If they could add some animation to that, the game, hands down, marvel. I still love it. I put it on my channel once in a while because it's so much fun. And it's like Ron says, if you do what Ron and I do, that is a
tough stream. It's a tough stream.
You got to be entertaining with a radio call, and you just have to. What I learned with that is let the text come. Don't be too quick because sometimes they do some crazy stuff that you're like, oh boy. But great game. If they could add a little animation to it, marvelous game.
Play calling is simple. You just have to worry about run and what type of pass. It's not as complex as Action PC. I think.
No, but there is a lot of strategy in it.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Because it does play. And there's also, they're very strict with, hey, if that guy only caught 3 passes per game, we'll give you 5 max, right?
Right.
And then you can basically go, yeah, I don't have to double that guy no more. Then you could start playing your math in your head going, which a real team would, because you're playing off what someone did and did not do. Do you want to use, say you have a good running back, right? But he can only carry the ball 15 times, and then his effectiveness starts to go down a bit.
And then as a defensive coach, key him, and it shuts right down. Very effective.
So you have to play the other players in their keys. I've scored with my Cleveland Browns replay. I've scored more touchdowns or just as many with a weaker running backs because they're keying Jim Brown. I get near the goal line. I go in a full house backfield. There's no way they're not going to keep. A real coach would key Jim Brown. You have to. You'd be dumb not to. So now you play when you're second, you're going to give the ball. Bobby Mitchell only can carry so many times, so I try to save him to complement Jim Brown. But I have a couple serviceable running backs. You got to pick your spots when you think you can, make them pop. Great game. But the ASG, the tennis, Mike, I've had more fun with that playing offline, my little one and done tournaments with just one set. Like hey, it's one set. That's it. You got to play, man. But I've also played full tournaments, and it's just great. The soccer game's a lot of fun. Those are the two I have. Golf, Ron has featured I've learned a lot from watching Ron play. And the golf is good, and that plays like APA, wouldn't you say?
Because it's a clone of APA for sure. It's different from the Action PC golf. You play it. I always get horizontal and vertical mix, but it plays the opposite way of Action PC.
It plays a vertical jump. Vertical.
Right. Okay. So it plays vertical, and so it kind of fits in your mind's eye how you would actually be playing if you were teeing off on a course, because you're not playing horizontal. Yeah. But I mean,
would you consider? See, here's my recommendation to people who like to put golf on their channel, especially card and dice. Just my recommendation. Again, I'm a big skins game person. I like that.
We did one.
Yeah, I know you guys. I know you did. I watched.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, when people here's just my recommendation. If you want to play a tournament, you want to put it on your channel, cut out some of the, how can I put it? Like the accounting work. In other words, saying these guys made the cut, those guys didn't make the cut. Just get to the players you want and play it.
The best way for streaming purpose.
Yes.
The best way I found, and I need to do more of it, is you just do the old Shell Wonderful World of Golf. You take two golfers, you put them on a course, the problem is that and you play a casual round, and you don't treat it as a match. You stroke play, because with a match, someone gets hot, then you're done by 12 holes.
Yeah.
Or who's going to watch something that's you're 4 up with 3 to play, or have you over, and so you get to see the entire course, and because 2 or 3 shots.
Take care, Chris from Stramac, Delaware. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Chris. Good to see you tonight, buddy. I've done a few of those and really enjoyed it.
I like that too. That's when I do stream golf. It's usually 1 against 1.
And Dave Gardner did that tonight with the Action PC.
That was fun.
That was
fun. And he played with 2. I said this in the chat. OG was in the chat. I was in the chat. You were in the chat. But then I had to do something, but I was listening, right? Mm-hmm. But before that, I had said, he's going to play better because when you play with weaker players, I do the same thing, whether it's weaker teams. I concentrate. I don't take things for granted. I'm sitting there going, I got to play within this player, within this team. So that's always a lot of fun. And okay. Let me go to the chat real quick, and then we'll go a little more, and then we'll call the stream.
Mm-hmm.
ID Gesture says they have Fall Classic. Yes. ASG has Fall. That's a card and dice. I downloaded the demo. I played a little bit. It's a fun game. And ID Gestures put it on his channel. Yeah. Roster Card Baseball, Replay Baseball, which is PC and card and dice.
Yes.
And then he says they're all, and ID knows because he puts a lot of different games. Again, thank you to ID Gesture. He brings a lot of different games to the community that you could take a look at and see if, hey, am I interested in this or not?
Here's the cool thing about Roster Card.
Yes, you like that.
I do like it. It's Strat or APA Basic. I ignore the splits because I just wanted to be quicker to play.
Right.
I actually spent the money and got all the seasons, so I now have.
But don't they have like a really good deal though?
Like, it's like $100,
and you get everything.
And you get everything. I have everything from 1901 to 2018. I mean, what cards and dice game could you do that with and not spend a gazillion dollars? Even with the Action PC, which I have the same run of years, it didn't cost me $100.
Yeah.
It cost my wife a lot more than that.
Shh, we're not gonna talk about that.
She knows.
I know.
But anyway, I mean, if you did that in Strat, it would cost thousands of dollars to do that.
Here's my recommendation for Strat. I know guys like card and dice. The card and again, they're not horribly priced. Don't get me wrong, but they don't give you, not the bash Strat, but they should give you every season. If you're a card and dice person, you should be allowed to buy a season. They only give, so I'm looking it up because I was like, here's a cool thing they do. You can buy teams. I didn't know that. So I was looking for specific, I was going to make my own they did an A and B set for the 80s and 90s, which is absolutely fabulous. I bought those sets. I have them right here, and I play my Bizarro little World Cup tournament thingies. These are the 80s, and I never know how. Can you see that?
There you go. It's not going to focus.
Yeah, this camera never. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you get 16 teams. You have to buy A and B, but whatever. So you get 8 and 8. So I bought A, B for the 80s and 90s, card and dice. I wish they would do more stuff like that because I don't want to play crappy teams. I'm sorry, I don't.
Not when you got to put that much work into it. In the computer, you can just say, okay, whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
And do that. The nice thing about the PC version of Replay, I'm sure you can do it, and this goes with MP3, just in case Clinton's watching, and I think the cards and dice version of Replay, you're not stuck with the season, the current season. So when you buy Strat, you have to buy the version.
I know.
You have to buy the current season. With Replay and MP3 and the inside pitch games.
You can buy whatever season you want.
You can buy whatever season you want, and that comes with it. So
I wish they would do that. Like if there's the hockey game, I would have already bought it because I would have picked a Bruins season with Orr.
Sure.
I would have been happy as a lark. Now I'm sitting there going, this is why I bought a ton of stuff off Strat. I love the Strat games. Regardless of if they're PC games, ancient. It's still fun to roll your dice. I get to play all these seasons, card and dice using the PC. And I have the card and dice, and I play a lot of that stuff online, a lot of stuff offline. That is a wonderful. I did look at the replay because I was looking at possibly another basketball game, but
I haven't seen the replay basketball play.
It's interesting. I watched King Ikibu played it too.
King Ikibu, okay.
Yeah, and he's doing a lot of those quick action. I just saw he posted another one like Dave Gardner's doing those quick action games. Again, not my thing, but
they're great for solitaire.
Yep, and I love watching Dave Gardner play it. I love watching King because it's the enthusiasm they bring off. Dave asked, do I play Strat Hockey? I was just asking Uncle Ron because they have this 50% off sale, and I want to buy the hockey game, but it does come with, 20, it would be the 20.
It would be the Caps and the Kings.
Which, again, that's not.
Knights, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually interesting to me.
Yeah.
But then I kind of want a Bobby Orr season, even though I don't own, even with Action PC Hockey, Ron, in the chat, I don't own a lot of seasons. What I did was I bought the Great Team Package because they give you.
If you're not a hockey fan, then that's what you would do.
And then here's the other great thing about Action PC. Here's the other. Hello, Braves for life. I hope all is well. Here's the great thing about Action PC games. Now he toned it down just a bit, but when you buy the new game, there's 3 different tiers. If you buy the mid or the upper tier, he gives you a lot of seasons with that game.
You won't believe what is in the mid-tier package for that basketball. It's
really
4 seasons, including the current one.
Yeah.
And there's now instead of just the 20 great pro teams, he's got 20 great college teams and 20 great pro teams. So it's like it comes with 6 seasons with it.
And then here, if you buy the basic version, you get the Great Teams League, I think.
Right. Yeah. So
that's incredible
this year.
Yeah. So again, Action PC, great Dave Koch Games, great company. Another very friendly company. But I'm looking at the Strat Hockey. But
I think for $30, you'd probably get your money out of it, even if you just did the Caps and the Knights. I mean, the Bruins aren't terrible.
No, they're not. And I think actually my cousin's on that team, so I can play him. My cousin Frank. He plays for the Panthers now. He got traded last year, or 2 years ago, whatever.
I wouldn't buy a modern season. Some teams don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
We won't mention any games, but Dave will.
I know Dave will. That was strange.
Has he done the VHS joke yet in the chat?
No, I don't think so. I look over. I'll tell you. The thing I wish they would do is like what Ron said with those other games. They let you buy a different season.
If they would offer 92-93, which was the last Habs Cup season.
Yeah.
It's a great year. I mean, it's Gretzky with the Kings and that great Toronto-Detroit division final and the Toronto-Los Angeles conference final and Montreal winning all those overtime games in the playoffs. I mean, that would be perfect.
Yeah. I think that's something they should offer because they're just going to make as much money.
They probably would make more money because more people would buy.
Tobias, how you doing, my friend? Tobias Alejandro. So, you want to go to 10, Ron? I know I said 9:30.
Yeah, that's fine. So, What would be your what's the ultimate project you haven't done yet?
Well, another ultimate project I haven't done. I'm kind of doing it, my heavyweight tournament, but what I haven't done, again, that's another fun project.
You're plugging away with that, though.
Yeah, I'm plugging away. So, I started this. I'll never finish it. I have pretty much every Patriot season known to mankind. Pretty much everyone. I might be missing a few here and there. I played Ron's going to be doing a 1960 AFL game of the week which is going to be a lot of fun.
Chargers, Houston Oilers tomorrow night.
Yeah, and
Jack
he's already
Kemp,
done
George
one.
Blanda.
Yep, and George Blanda was awesome in the AFL.
So was Jack Kemp.
Yep. And you did the Patriots Denver game.
Very first game in AFL history.
Friday. It was a Friday night game. And here's the other thing.
Yeah, whatever it was.
But here's another thing, Ron. You are correct, because when I played the 60 replay, I'm sitting there going, wait a second. Because I was looking up stuff on NFL football reference, right? And I go, that was an away game, not a home. They kind of got that mixed up. They got this mixed
up. The older basketball schedules aren't right either.
Yeah, they had the right teams, but they had the wrong home and aways, because I'm like, because what I was doing with the Patriots, the few I put up, I'd actually find the program and I put it up on I'm sitting there going, wait a second. And then that's when I started, I go, they got these all wrong. Because, when I was just playing it, I didn't know who played. I know those teams. I didn't pay attention. I would go in and check the score real quick, right? Did they win? Did they lose? I didn't really pay attention. And a lot of them, they had the wrong home and away teams. But
yes, they do.
My ultimate is to play every Patriot season. But I bounce. So, but that's just my own little thing. Right now, I'm having fun playing the 62 Mets and the 62 Red Sox. Slightly better, but still stinky. Using Strat, because I had a Strat drug addict moment during their sale, and I bought a ton of seasons.
And so, you're now ready for your colonoscopy. If you can survive the 62 Mets, you can survive that.
Yes. Dog shows in the chat are good friend Dog. 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers would thump those teams. I think he's talking about the ones, the Golden State and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I think a Patriot. The Patriot replay, just because I'm fascinated by it. As a kid, you can never find out anything about the Patriot. There's no history on them. I mean, I remember I pulled a book out of the library, Ron. It was this thick because they stunk, but they didn't really stink. They had good teams.
I saw the other day.
They had good teams
between 76 and 88.
They have good teams.
They had like the second best record in the NFL.
Yes, you wouldn't imagine. But the problem was, Ron. Here's the thing. Huge Patriots fan, especially then. I mean, they're good. When you're a kid, it's more like with anything, with sports, and I still love the Patriots, but they would win a game they weren't supposed to win, right? And you're like, we're going to make the playoffs, right? And then down the stretch, they'd lose that game that they were supposed to win, thus nullifying the benefit.
Or to Miami when they needed to win.
Oh, God. They never won it, except the championship game in 85, which was 86, but it's the 85 championship.
Until they won that for a Super Bowl. That was the greatest
when they went to the
franchise history.
Oh, absolutely.
Miami beating them.
That was
beautiful. It didn't matter. They weren't going to beat the Bears anyway.
Yeah, and they went down there, and everyone knew they're going to run the ball, right? And they were like, "Yeah, we're running the ball," and they ran that ball right down Miami's throat, the squish the fish, and we finally did. That was great. But that would be one of my ultimate. The Patriots. Another one, I want to play I've always liked Fran Tarkenton, and I want to play. I've always wanted to play his full. That's again, you could do it because there's not.
Minnesota's decent in the 60s.
Yeah, but I wanted to play. If you don't know Fran Tarkenton's history, he didn't get along with his coach Norm Van Brocklin. Van Brocklin traded him, had him traded again.
Nobody got along with Norm Van Brocklin.
So Van Brocklin trades him to the Giants. The Giants are happy as larks. They got this really good quarterback, right? He basically makes that team. And when he was healthy a few years, they were very competitive. He's hurt a few years. You can see the record drop. He has a good year, and then the Giants trade him back. Like in the early 70s, they trade him back to Minnesota, which is mind-numbing. I think my brother said when I asked him.
We're not surprised.
No, they trade away a lot of good players. But my brother always told me, and he was very young still, but he was, my brother's always been a big Giants fan. And he goes, stupidest trade in NFL history. They traded him back to the Vikings. So, but yeah, what would be one of your ultimate projects?
Similar, a long-term Red Sox project.
Yeah. Well, you were kind of doing that now offline. I thought you were talking about.
I do a variety of things, but yeah, kind of like you, take a 5-year stretch and do them.
It's fun.
It is because, I mean, some of it's learning about the team, and I mean Williams is just a stud. Or some of it's going through and going, okay, what can I do between 75 and 80 that the
Ron, here's a team. You got to play a little bit of the 1950 Red Sox.
Oh absolutely, my God, that's just
absolutely phenomenal offensive team. They scored 1,027 runs. You know what their team batting?
154 games.
Yeah, and their team batting average was. I wrote it down because I was doing the other little game the other night.
18,000.
Almost 302 team batting average. 302.
And they lose Williams at what? The All-Star break?
Yeah. Something happened because he didn't have. But they
was it Korea or an injury?
I think it's an injury because in 50 I think he goes after the 50 season back to Korea to fight as in the Air Force.
That shoots down a whole bunch of planes. I mean, the man is John Wayne.
Yeah, he tells that joke. He goes, "You like John Wayne? You know he's playing me."
Right, exactly.
He was a unbelievable. But yeah, the 1950 Red Sox, phenomenal offensive team. No pitch. Well, they had two pitchers, Mel Parnell and Ellis Kinder. That's about it. That's why I knew I did an OTB rivalry cup, the biggest cup ever. I did that whole thing. But I said I match them. I go, yeah, 61. If they played in a 10-game series, the 61 Yankees are going to beat them. I play them in a 1-game series. I got a shot. I can use my two best pitchers and try to eke out a win, which I did. And it was a lot of fun playing. But that team, that would be a fun team. That span, that's an interesting span. Here's another thing about that team, as we're almost up on 10, and then I'm going to Vern Stevens is their shortstop. I didn't even know who Vern Stevens was.
The Browns. They stole him from St. Louis. He's
an unbelievable, phenomenal player. But you never hear about Vern Stevens.
Was it 36 homers as a shortstop back then?
Yeah. 1950, Walt Dropo wins the American League Rookie of the Year. He knocked in 144 runs. Vern Stevens at shortstop knocked in 1950, 144 runs. Bobby Doerr knocked in 120. Williams knocked in 97. Again, I think it was an injury.
And 100 games too. It wasn't even.
D. Scott Howard was funny when I did that game. He goes, "He only batted 317, an off year for Ted." Yeah, an off year, 317. We were laughing about that. But yeah, that's a phenomenal. What is your? Do you want to do like the 70 span?
I probably will do. Yeah, I mean because Jim Rice was my favorite player.
Yep.
And the pitching is terrible, but they're going to hit. And in 77 and 78, they got a decent chance to win that division. I don't think they can do it in 79, they faded. And in 80, they finally fired Zimmer.
Do you think he didn't like certain players? I guess all managers don't like certain players, but
he didn't like Joe Lee, I know that.
No, and if he had pitched him slightly a little more,
yes,
maybe they win that division.
One game. They took them. They won 9 of their last 10 to force the damn playoff.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Here's the other thing with the 77 team, which I've always said: if the 77 team had any pitching, that team wins that division.
Oh, hands down, they win that division.
Hands down. They knocked in. They were such an offensive. Butch Hobson batted 9th, and he had 30 homers or 30 or more homers, and either 100 or 90 something RBIs. George, the Boomer, his last good year in baseball, and again he feasted on left-handed pitching. But yeah, if that team, that team really didn't get any pitching. If Bill Lee out of the pen,
Jenkins too.
He was 500. I don't know if he was hurt that. I don't remember that, but I remember watching how good. And plus, you can again this week in baseball. Thank you, YouTube. I can go back and watch all those, and I just sit there and I remember, and they can hit the crap out of the ball, but they faded again. The pitching. Fergie Jenkins was a 500 pitcher. They got who was it? Paxton came out of nowhere. He was like 10-1, but they scored a gazillion runs. If you look at his ERA, it's not that good.
Yeah,
but they scored a gazillion runs because
Jenkins, Tiot, Paxton, and Wise.
Yeah, and Wise was not bueno either.
No.
Bill Campbell was awesome out of the pen. Then he threw that nasty curveball thingy. That ball dropped right, and he hurt he finally, though he pitched much. he pitched much longer than I thought, Uncle Ron. I forgot how.
He pitched in the mid-'80s.
You're right. Yeah. But that would be, so it'd be 70s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or 80s when, the thing is that because you when you have nightmares about certain things, or
Yeah.
you look back at your child and go, really, always seemed like that Stanley couldn't hold a freaking lead, and they let 18. If baseball was a 7-inning game, the Red Sox would have had 20 World Championships. That's how it felt like I was a kid.
You would get that. I'm telling you, you hit it on the head.
You go back and play them and go, I was right.
Yeah, you get that sinking feeling. You just sit there and you go, we didn't score enough runs. With those teams, you're always like, keep scoring. Keep scoring.
And here
the pitching's not going to hold it.
Mark Clear, who's
God,
90
we got him. Did we get him from Milwaukee or California?
California.
He went to Milwaukee after. Okay, I never remember. Yeah, he was the most aggravating closer ever. He walked way too many guys. When he could get his pitches over, he had nasty stuff, but he just sit there and you go, oh God, Mark.
Yeah,
Clear.
but that's assuming he got the ball over the plate.
All righty. Yep. So
that would be mine. Yeah.
Yep. It's 10. One last thing, Uncle Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Red Sox, Canadians, your favorite teams?
Yes.
Okay. Now we know you're a Jim Rice fan.
Mm-hmm.
What is a player you like? Maybe not one of the top, like someone you just enjoy playing a game and he does well. Not a top tier. Well, whoever. Someone besides Rice. Like me, it's Bernie Carbo. For the like a Bernie.
Freddie Lynn.
Yeah.
From that era.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Today, more of a modern perspective. I mean, I'm a huge Ortiz fan, and
best clutch hitter I've ever seen for the Red Sox.
And Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
I love the pieces.
Yep.
Kind of more, Jason Varitek when he would play well, or today. The Brock Star, because you can place him anywhere.
Yeah, he's hitting well for them too.
And he's hitting well. So I guess that sort of thing. But
that's cool.
But Lynn, because he was never the same after he smashed his shoulder in the World Series.
No.
And it was so, as a kid, it was great. When Lynn hit the grand slam in the first All-Star game grand slam in '83. It's like, it was special because I mean, the Red Sox were about as well run as the Kardashians back then. I mean, they didn't mail a contract to Carlton Fisk and became a free agent.
Yes, that's how they lost him, because they're sticking it to him. They're being wise guys, and they were the ones who lost in the end.
And so to see Lynn be successful on that stage, poor Adley Hamaker.
That was a bomb.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I do like Rico Petrocelli. I like Rico. I've always liked those guys who just. The thing that stuck with me as a kid, I was very young. I remember Game 6, 75. I'm not lying. I remember the Carbo homer. I remember because I'm up with my family.
I remember watching it. I don't remember the Carbo, but I do remember.
I remember the car, and then I've seen it so much, and that's one of the best calls because that. Fenway Park is dead, meaning they're all sitting there going, and then and he had, when they go, I forgot who said it, what announcer goes, and now he goes, and after one of the worst swings you'll ever see, because Carbo just basically tries to foul off a ball because he knows it's a strike and he knows he can't hit it. It's a horrible swing. And the next one, it's that sound off the bat, and he crushes it to dead center. It's
Gary Giola, Dick Stockton, and Tony Kubek.
Great. I got goose pimples just when he said that, just remembering it. And one of them says, after one of the worst swings you'll ever see, I think it was Gary Giola, who's really a good baseball announcer.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah. And he crushes that ball, and the place goes nuts. Check it out on YouTube. It's just one of my favorite baseball moments.
Have they found Pat Darcy yet? Because he's the one that gave up the Fisk homer. He's probably still stuck at the cask and flag.
Yep. And that's another funny story. Supposedly, the reason why they got the shot, because the guy was eyeing a rat, the cameraman, and he kept turning the camera. And that's the story that's been told. It's a great story. The rat was over here, and he's like, and he keeps moving and that's because he somehow. That's why the camera's pointed in that certain direction, because he's watching the rat. Make sure the rat wasn't going to, because that's Fenway Park, folks. Not only cats, rats, and birds, they got it all. And I tell you, one of my favorite seasons, 1988. I know they didn't win it, but Morgan Magic, Walpole Joe. That was out of nowhere.
There was a good young team. They had Greenwell and Burks and Jody Reed came up that year, and it was just
Clemens.
A transitional year, and they did well.
Yep, and it was just out of nowhere. And we'll end it really soon. They picked up Larry Parrish, who was done. I think they got him from the Rangers. He had come from the Expos to the Rangers. Good player at one time, but he was done, right? He came to the Red Sox, and I want to say it was like a 3-week span. He turned back the hands of time. He mashed the ball for 3 weeks, and man, that's when they went. It was unbelievable. That's one of my favorite. So I'm playing that. Actually, that's a fun little project I'm doing offline. I did put one game. That's the one I did opening day. Roger Clemens. I rolled a no-hitter with Digital Diamond Baseball, which was really cool. That was cool. But that's a project I'm doing offline. We're gonna go to the chat, and then we will say adieu to everyone. ID Gesture, Boston best moments, losing to St. Louis Blues 2019. Oh, ID. Can you tell he's not a Bostonian fan?
Yes.
Larry Harris said, "Oh, Rico Petrocelli." Dog show, 2 minutes until Fat Boy Burgers. That sounds yummy. I don't know if that is, but I don't know.
Making me hungry.
I know. I like burgers. I always like burgers. Larry Harris, status pro, just finished a game between the 82 Padres and the 82 Mets, with the Mets winning 4-3. Mike Scott, that's right. Mike Scott came up with the Mets.
And in front of 8 friends and family in New York, right?
Yeah, and Tim Lawler, the losing pitcher, Roscoe the State. Here's one. Hey, Mets had Nolan Ryan in the day, and he's a little too wild. Let's get rid of him.
For Jim Fergosi.
That's who it was. I was trying to remember. Yeah, because from the Angels.
Yep.
I was with my dad, and I were talking the other morning. I go, Dad, and I didn't want to look it up. I forgot. Yeah. They've made some bad trades, the Mets. Oh. Bad trades. So, again, thank you to everyone. Captain Carl, Dave from Dave says from Baseball Demos. Tarkin was on the show. That's incredible. I remember. That was on Monday.
With
Frank Tarkenton.
Kathy John Davidson.
Yep. Kathy Lee something.
Crosby.
As a kid, Ron will remember this. They used to,
her.
No, I like Kathy Lee Crosby. I'm going to tell you exactly why.
Okay.
She was an attractive woman.
Yes.
Had that weird blonde hair that always fascinated me.
Yes.
And they did the
her hairdresser knew for sure.
Yes. The log. They had the log rolling guy on, and she actually practiced, and she could actually do the whole, because she could dance and stuff, so her feet moved quick.
Yep.
And so the log guy challenged, I don't know if they actually did, but she goes, I can do that. And she got on, and she's going against one of them. She's actually doing well. Then she fell in the water. Now, I don't know if they did this on purpose for ratings, but Kathy Lee basically. ABC. Yes, it was, and they do stuff for ratings. Kathy Lee always wore like a white blouse or so. So when you go in the water with a white blouse, you just made Al Red Sox fan. She popped out, and I went, and then she went, and she pulled her shirt away. I was like, oh God, I love her. But yeah, I always I know that show. It has a special memory for me.
It's good nappy time for Al afterwards.
Oh, it was good.
Actually, that was the Tiger Woods was on there as like a 3-year-old, and Frank
with his father.
Did the interview.
Yeah, and he was also on
Mike Douglas.
That's it, Mike Douglas
with Bob Hope.
Yep. There's a lot of cool stuff back in the day that you don't get now. It's just you just don't. But anyway, thank you very much, Uncle Ron. Tell us what's coming up on your channel.
Let's see. Tomorrow night at 7 we have the AFL swings. Can't say rocks. Swings on RSN. Week 2 action between the Los Angeles Chargers with Jack Kemp as the quarterback, and some of the ones that gave you nightmares when you did that 63 Charger Patriot game. They're on that team, and George Blanda and the Houston Oilers.
That's my ultimate project. You don't know how many times I played that 63 championship over. You don't.
And how close have you come?
Okay, remember the one I did show?
Yes.
I played one offline. I lost in the fourth quarter. I lost. I ended up giving up 10 points late, but it was really competitive. So I'm like, I'm going to play it online. And I was competitive in that one, 3.5 quarters. And you can't.
It's just
That team,
I think could beat the Bears.
Yeah,
and
that
win the
team,
Super Bowl.
the Chargers team is really, really. It's 63. Yeah, if they played they would have had a good shot at the Bears, the 63 Bears. Their offense is just tremendous. Their running backs are tremendous. You're not stopping them. You key them, and then here comes, what's his face? Tobin Rote was actually the quarterback then, with Hadel the backup. Yeah, no, it was Rote played a lot. They alternated, but I think it was Tobin Rote played more. But whatever, whoever is quarterback, they light you up. And with the Patriots, that was one of their. They were up one game above. Like, it was a weird.
Well, remember, ties didn't. If you tied, you could conceivably win with two, because ties didn't count.
And with the Patriots that year, they had to play a playoff game, which normally you didn't do.
Oh no, that's right.
Because they tied Buffalo and they beat Buffalo in the playoff game, which probably was the better team. But Buffalo would lose close. Like, the Patriots had like a couple of games better than 5. They weren't really that good. But they made it there, and hats off to them. They got annihilated. They were never in that game. They got annihilated. They actually, their best team in the 60s was 1966. And had it been a modern playoff, or even like a 70s playoff, they would have made the playoffs. But back then, you had to win the division to make the playoffs. And they lost the game they weren't supposed to lose, and they didn't make the playoffs. But so what else is coming up, Uncle Ron?
Let's see. So tomorrow is that. Saturday, I couldn't get the Dodgers to come close to clinching. They sit there with a magic number 3. So weekend baseball is the Tigers and the Red Sox from Fenway. And we're going to do that Saturday night at 8:30, hopefully leading into a raucous episode of Chat with Al.
Do you want to do a Chat with Al on Saturday?
Yes. My wife's disappointed if I don't.
Well, we're going to have to do one, Uncle Ron. Now, Chat with Al is a little different than this.
Yes.
Where every bizarre thought comes out of Al and Uncle Ron's head. Ron takes a little while longer. Then he gets that twinkle in his eye. I'm like, here.
Yes. I don't have the benefit of drinks.
It's true. I do. But
you had a good time last week.
Oh, we had fun. It's good. I like doing that. It's fun.
But yeah, so to lead into a Chat with Al will be the
OG. OG will be. Oh, Friday night, Dave Little's basketball game. We got Dave Little's basketball.
And then Sunday, I've got, speaking of Dave Little, it's that 70s tournament game, one of the finals, best of 3. The We Are Family Pirates against the 70 Orioles. Bring your Chesterfields appropriately. And stay with the kicker.
Now, did you mention Monday night?
Monday night, Mr. Gardner and I will do another joint project together. Now, he in Game Winning Drive, he did the complete 1979 NFL playoffs, all 9 games.
Lots of fun. Enjoyed it.
And that was fun. And he got Miami and Tampa in the Super Bowl. So we got Tampa over the hump. In fact, I think they beat Dallas to get there. And not the Rams. And Miami made the Super Bowl. I forgot who they beat in the conference championship.
Pittsburgh. Game. Oh, no.
It was Houston, I think.
Houston. They beat Pittsburgh in the playoff, in the divisional or wild, whatever the heck it was. Divisional.
And so we're going to see. I mean, it's obvious that Tampa's not going to win that Super Bowl, but we're going to play that game out using Action PC.
And you're going to have a 2-man booth.
And I'll do the play-by-play, and he will do the color.
Awesome. That's going to be so much fun.
We had so much fun. We did that for the Ice Bowl, which wasn't as good of a game as the real Ice Bowl, but
Lombardi liked your version better.
The Packers were so good.
Here's the thing about the Packers. Very I get it. They won 5 championships. Horribly underrated team.
Because that last year's team was old.
And I'm going to tell you another thing about that last year's team. Tons of injuries. That's why they had to go get Chuck Mersine, who was playing in a pro league, but what would be considered a minor, like the Colonial, whatever, like one of those type of
AAA team today.
Yeah, because they had a lot of those back then. Guys bounced around. They played in those leagues, and they had to go get him. That team was, and Bart Starr, actually, you had mentioned, he got hurt during the year. Zeke Burkowski actually played a lot of that year. Very serviceable quarterback, but not Bart Starr. God rest his soul.
Great 66. Starr had a great 68. He had a terrible 67.
Yeah. And Bart Starr, the Green Bay Packers, and Vince Lombardi and the rest of the Packers in the playoffs, 9-1. People don't want to give him credit because this is what people say.
9 straight too. They lost
because they lost to the Eagles in the championship game.
60, yep.
And there's a famous story. Chuck Bednarik wouldn't let Taylor get up. Right now, they would have thrown a flag on Bennett for not letting the player get up, and he held the Bednarik down. And Taylor, the running back, Jim Taylor, tells a story. Bednarik tells a story when he was alive. Taylor's swearing at him, "Get your effing blankety blank off me!" And he's holding him down. And the gun sounds. He goes, "I'll get off you now, we're champs," right? And that's how and Vince Lombardi gave a speech. He went in, and the players were like bummed out, and they thought they were going to get yelled. He goes, "Nope, you guys played your hearts out. My fault. My fault. We will never come up 9 yards short ever again." Now, they went 9-1, and they won 9 in a row, like Uncle Ron said. People don't want to give teams like that credit because there weren't as many playoff games. It was harder to make the playoffs, people.
Yes.
Okay? Harder to make the playoffs.
Was it 65 they missed? Was it 64 or 65 they missed because Baltimore won because they tied the Rams?
Yep. They would have made the playoffs every Lombardi year had the playoff been, like an expanded. No, I'm not saying they would have won. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they
goes to show how different it was then.
It's a different game. They were a great team. And there's great teams now. I'm just saying you can't, and again, we're going to end, I don't want to get off on that, but that's a really great point with the Ice Bowl and how that team, they weren't even though they were playing at home, the Cowboys thought they were going to go in and steamroll them. The Cowboys thought you listen to those Cowboy players, we got the better team. We got this, we got that. Jim Brown tells the best story, and then I'll give my little fair. Okay. He says, Jim Brown goes, "I don't know how we ever lost to them." And he went player by player, right? Basically, with the key players. He goes, "Our guy was just as good as this guy. Our guy was this good." He goes, "And I was pretty good." He goes, "I was pretty good, right?" He says, "You know what the difference was? Lombardi, because they played a certain way. He won with teams that shouldn't have won because they're all banged up. Especially that last team should have never won."
Absolutely.
So, but anyway, that was a cool. The Ice Bowl was fun. And I like when you guys do the 2-man booth. I hope we can do I was talking with you. I like to do maybe a 3-man booth one of these times, with me in there just to watch you guys and just comment once in a while. But a lot of fun. So remember to check those things out. And I like to say thank you to everyone in the chat. And Westrosi Ninja just jumped in. Check out that great channel. I'm not going to go through everyone like I normally do. Or Dave Gardner will make fun of me brutally. But anyway, thank you, Bobby, and everyone else. Next week, we hope to do this Thursday night on Ron's channel, and he'll have a topic, and he'll tell you at some point.
We're going to get Dave on, and we're going to talk about modding games.
Yep. So that's going to be fun. And hopefully we can get Dave Gardner on with OG this Saturday if he's not, because I know he has with the hockey stuff at different hours. So anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Health and happiness. Dog Show says Cleveland Browns, baby. Cleveland Browns. And it's good to have Dog live streaming. That's awesome. So God bless. Till next time. You know what's coming, folks. Peace.